The Knicks postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. Isaiah Hartenstein, the former Knick, led OKC with 6 assists. Isaiah Joe, 31 points off the bench. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander shows why he may be the favorite for MVP. 39 for him. And OKC blows out the Knicks tonight by 25. It's a Knicks' worst loss of the year, 126 to 101. Great to have you with us, everyone. Bill Pidto along with Wally Szczerbiak. So the Knicks now have lost 4 out of 5. It's rare to see an NBA game basically be decided in the first quarter, but tonight was decided in the first quarter. OKC closed the first quarter on a 15-2 run. They were up 31-17 after the first quarter. That was basically it.
Knicks got outclassed in every way, shape, or form in this one. They looked like they were a step slow at every position. Oklahoma City was driving by them at will, breaking down defense at will, getting wide open shots for whoever wanted them at will. This was a rough performance from the Knicks. I think this is one where this team looked tired tonight. You got to throw away this tape. You're not going to learn much from this tape, and you got to regroup and re-energize and try to figure out a way to find some adrenaline for the rest of this month going into the All-Star break. This is a good team. They came in here with a mission. There's a reason why they're 31-6. They've been blowing out teams all over the NBA, but I was just really surprised at how easy they blew the Knicks off the floor tonight.
First 6 minutes, neither team could make a shot. OKC began the night 1 for 10, and then, Wally, they went 24 for their next 36, and at the half they were up 70-43.
Yeah. And the Knicks got off to a slow start, and that's unlike them a little bit at home. You know, normally you can feed off your crowd a little bit, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, nobody could keep him in front of them. I mean, he was just blowing by the Knicks right and left.
He only made 1 3, Wally, and he had 39 points.
And it just seemed like he could have had 60 if he wanted to. The passing was really impressive. You see what a key cog Isaiah Hartenstein is. As a big man, his athleticism, his mobility really caused problems for the Knicks. And then the way he can pass, the way the floor was opened up, the Knicks couldn't make the Thunder pay for playing small. There were times where the Thunder had 5 guards out there, and the Knicks couldn't keep up with their speed. They just had the Knicks just moving all over the place on the defensive end of the floor. And the point of attack was a real problem for the Knicks to slow down.
Wally, look at the three-point shooting. The Knicks, 4 of 31. They were better against Toronto. They shot 12 of 33 against Toronto. But in 9 of the last 10 games, the Knicks have really struggled from the outside. Nothing worse than what we saw tonight in terms of percentage. Is it really the three-point shooting that's really hurting the offense here?
Yeah. You can't keep
up. Are they getting good looks, or are they just not?
They had some good looks in the first half. OG had some wide open looks. Mikal Bridges had some wide open looks. Jalen Brunson hit a 3 early on in the game. He got going early. It's just one of those things where if you're not going to knock down shots against a team with this caliber of potency and firepower on the other end, then you're going to struggle. And the Knicks look like they kind of let this one go because they were like, we can't keep up with this team. The speed, the athleticism, and the youth of this Oklahoma City team really got to the Knicks early on in this game, and they just did not have an answer for that speed and athleticism.
Is there a player in the NBA like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander who can score like this without having to make threes? Again, only 1 of 1 from downtown. He goes 15 of 21 from the floor and goes for 39 points.
Remember Michael Jordan? That's how Michael Jordan used to get it done.
Right.
30 every single night. I mean, he just got to his spots. Incredible athlete. He reminds me a little bit of MJ. He's very elastic out there, and the way he just slithers in the paint, the way he gets wherever he wants. I mean, he leaves defenders completely flat-footed.
Remember, he's 6'6".
With his speed. Yeah, exactly. That's how tall Michael Jordan was, too. And he gets to his spots. He's really simple. The shots that he takes and makes, and the game comes easy to him. It really does. I mean, his first step is as good of a first step as there is in the NBA. Right up there with Ja Morant, but he's bigger than Ja Morant, so he can finish around the rim, and he doesn't have to rely on his athleticism and jumping ability all the time. You saw that fan in the back just in awe of his play. I'm in awe of his shot chart because he's a throwback player who just takes makeable shots, and he just absolutely killed the Knicks in pick and roll, got wherever he wanted, no matter what defender was guarding him. It was an impressive performance. He only comes to the Garden once, and you could see he was motivated to show everyone in the NBA sphere, landscape, how good he really is tonight.
Last Friday at OKC, Aaron Wiggins off the bench, 15 of his season-high 19 in the fourth quarter. Tonight off the bench, Isaiah Joe, 23 of his season-high 31 in the first half, and he tied a career high with 8 threes. So again, a player off the OKC bench makes a major, major impact.
Yeah, he came in the game, he got open looks, and you could see he was just ready to go from the tip. I mean, look at how open these shots are. Rhythm shots, and he wasn't hitting any rim. I mean, these things are just bottom. He was in such a good rhythm when he got into that game, and he continued to just be nice and aggressive and just, you know, take shots. Like, where's the defense? I mean, that was my question in the first half. They just could not contain any type of penetration that the Oklahoma City Thunder were getting. And then they get steals. You know, they're an aggressive defensive team, so they're really going to get easy stuff in transition. And they got a lot of that, too. And they opened up that game at the end of the first half leading into that second quarter when the game was really over at halftime. I did not even feel the Knicks had a chance to make a push down 27 at half. They just looked like they didn't have enough gas in the tank to keep up with this team tonight.
Two players had off nights. OG Anunoby only 4 points, and Wally Bridges did not score a single point tonight.
Yeah, that's you know, the Knicks rely heavily on their starting lineup. So if those two guys are not going to, you know, show up and give much production at all, it's going to be tough to compete with the best team in the league or the second best team in the league record-wise. Karl Anthony Towns, he looks like he's laboring out there. He looks like he's a little banged up with the knees. Jalen Brunson, he got his points, his assists. Towns got his double-double. So those two guys found a way to at least produce something tonight and an off night. But overall, the Knicks don't have a lot of margin for error when their starting five does not play at a pretty high level, all five of those guys.
All right, well, let us say hello now to Monica McNutt. She helped call the game on ESPN Orc, the radio broadcast. Monica, what did you think tonight?
I've been trying to find the words between my trip downstairs from our radio spot to here, because
Keep looking down, Monica. It's not going to help.
Listen, I really don't quite know where to put this one yet. I will say this, and Tyler Murray, my radio partner, we had a really good discussion, and Tyler made the point that in Oklahoma City, the first 3 quarters, or at least certainly the first half, was some of the best basketball that the Knicks have played this season. And that is what is required to beat a team as astute on both sides of the floor like the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I think we saw that tonight. You have off nights in the NBA. That's a given, that's a granted. But I didn't love the fight tonight. I thought, but behind Isaiah Joe's monster performance from the three-point line early in the ball game, the Thunder threw a haymaker in that first quarter, and the Knicks could not get their footing afterward.
I'm with you, Monica. What'd you think of Isaiah Hartenstein returning back to the Garden? He looked pretty dominant in his performance here tonight.
So I was, again, telling Tyler, I actually was really sad to see him go and kind of mentally was holding a grudge of sorts because I'm like, we could have worked it out. The Knicks were so close. We had such a great run. But Coach Mark Daigneault said something pregame that really echoed how I felt as I've watched Isaiah Hartenstein in an OKC uniform, that there is so much runway for him as a member of the Thunder. And even Daigneault said, not that he has not made a tremendous impact already, but we see more room for him to continue to make an impact. And so whether it's his passing, his scoring now, just the team camaraderie and the professionalism that he also brought here, he's able to get deeper in his bag as a member of the OKC Thunder, and that's great for him.
We talked about Mikal Bridges. Didn't score a single point and continues to struggle in terms of shooting, and you wonder if he's just starting to get a little bit tired from the minutes that he's playing. Leads the league in minutes. He's been great to this point, but maybe the legs are getting a little bit tired.
I got to sit and digest, maybe watch this back again, because I'm struggling with some of those things, Pidto, for us that have covered the New York Knicks all season long. But I also want to make sure I'm giving due respect to how good the Oklahoma City Thunder are. And so right now, those two ideas are sort of competing with one another. I don't think that you are in the wrong to wonder about that, particularly for a guy that went 0 for 7 from 3 tonight. So much of shooting is about having your legs. And I actually thought the first couple of shots he took looked to be a little bit hopeful, and as a shooter, you can't shoot the ball hopefully. You got to shoot it with confidence. So there's a lot to digest. There's a lot to unpack from this one. I think we all saw the fourth quarter. Essentially, the flag was waved as Coach Thibodeau went to his bench, and if you had to find a silver lining outside of this team being perfect from the free throw line, I think some extended minutes for some of those bench guys who I think are gonna have to be able to get on the floor down the stretch was a good thing.
All right, Monica, thanks. We'll see you on Sunday afternoon. Knicks host Milwaukee, pregame at 2:30, game at 3. Campaign 11 off the bench. Deuce McBride had missed the last 5 games with a bad hammy, had 7 points off the bench, and obviously they got more playing time than normal because of the nature of the score.
Yeah, that's good. You got to try to find a rhythm for those guys off the bench. Campaign, again, when he gets bulk minutes, he seems to produce. He can score in a lot of different ways. Deuce McBride, he's going to be fine. First game back after missing 5 games, so the jumper might be a little bit off. He's going to recalibrate that, get himself back into rhythm. A little bit rusty, coming back tonight. But overall, I think it was good to kind of let this bench play a little bit, because the minutes that the starters are playing, I really firmly believe it's starting to wear on them. And this is game 40-41. We're getting into 50 soon. Like, at some point, the starters need a little relief from the bench, taking some of those minutes away from the heavy minutes away from them. All
right, Wally, around the corner, we have Tom Thibodeau's post-game comments, also the MSG 150. Find out what the Knicks coach has to say. His team now is 25-14 on the season.
The Knicks post-game show is presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer today.
The Knicks lost to the Celtics by 23 on the season's opening night. This now becomes the worst loss of the year, losing by 25 tonight to the Thunder. Back now from the corner 3, presented by Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. Up next for the Knicks on Sunday, they're going to host Milwaukee, pregame at 2:30, game at 3. And then on Monday, the second of a back-to-back at home, the Pistons are in town, and Detroit has already exceeded its win total from all of last season. Time now to listen into the post-game comments from Knicks coach Tom Thibodeau, presented by Chase.
Probably, the way we started the game, we got into a big hole right away. So, we got to do a lot better.
Take on OG and Kel not scoring in the first half. What did you see?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's probably a compilation of things, and you get into things together, you get out of things together. We started flat, we got in a hole. Our defense wasn't very good, and they're a great team, but we have to be a lot better defensively, and it requires a lot more than what we did today. So, I share in that. That's my responsibility. I got to make sure we're ready to go.
I'm sure you guys thought you maybe should have beat them last week. Definitely could have beat them, probably should have beat them. When they come out the way they did and hit you guys so early and you didn't respond, does it sort of take some of the...
Well, the way the game started, that we actually started off okay defensively. And then but we missed some, wide open shots, and then our intensity went away. And, and we didn't play with the discipline that is necessary in terms of they collapse, they do a good job in the paint, and we got to make the right reads. We didn't do that, but it's hard, sometimes you're flat, and we got to get out of that, and you got to come with more intensity, you got to have more second, third, fourth effort type plays, and usually that's what gets you going. When you get some hustle plays, then you find a rhythm. But we didn't take anything away. They got what they wanted, and we knew they're a challenge because of the way they can put the ball on the floor and attack the paint. And so it's the individual on the ball, but it's also your teammates being in the right spot and understanding what we're trying to do collectively and how we have to support each other. So that's where we have to be a lot better.
When you talk about the intensity, is part of that the shots not falling, guys?
Well, it's, and again, it's, we got in a big hole early, and then you're trying to dig out of the hole, and, they're a terrific team. And so, your effort, that's what you need, is you need great effort on every play. You got to fight to win every possession against them. And so, if you have a lull where, there's 3 or 4 bad possessions, well, they can go on a run during that, and that's what they did, so, and they got away, and, they had a big lead, they got confidence when they're shooting the ball, and, a lot of it is seeing things early, a lot of it's communication, a lot of it's, effort, and we got to do better.
You guys are 9-11 now against teams that were 500 or better coming into play tonight. Is there just, you feel like there's some talent on this
Well, I think, you have to, there's so many variables that go into a schedule, and you'd have to look at, okay, where are the games being played and who is out and where are you in the schedule? So to make a blanket statement, we'd like to win them all, and so, I always have the belief that we can do better no matter what we do. And so when you fall short, you have to take a look and start with yourself and ask yourself what you could do better, and then you go from there. And so as a coach, that's what I have to do. As a player, that's what they have to do. And then we have to do it collectively. We got into this together. We got to get out of it together.
We've been talking a lot about the schedule and how tough it is. When you have a loss like this against one of the best teams in the NBA, is there a reality check element? Like, we are not where we think we are?
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's a long season, so it doesn't change the way we should approach things in terms of focus on daily improvement. So obviously we, did not play well tonight. So what can we do better, and what do we have to fix first? And so you got Milwaukee, coming in, and so we got to get ourselves ready. There's, the disappointment of today, and then fix things tomorrow and be ready when the ball goes up, because the games keep coming. And so it's a long season. The idea is to be playing your best at the end. There's going to be bumps in the road. How do we get through those things? Are we mentally tough when we face adversity? And can we grow? And that's where the focus has to be, on growing and getting better. And so, go ahead. Yeah, well, I think, the thing is and again, it's easy to make a blanket statement, but yeah, well, the thing is there's also been, good wins, and how does it compare to the rest of the league? If you're just judging teams on, 500 teams above 500, there's a lot that goes into it, and I think you could take a snippet out of any season and say, oh, well, this is, what it is, and then I think you wait to the end to know what it is, and so is it bad? Is it good? It could be better, yeah. Do we want it to be better? Yeah. But the reality is, this is where our record is. We're third in the East. We'd like to be first. But we got to keep working. That's the bottom line.
Coach, in the game in OKC, Wiggins came off the bench and had a big fourth quarter with threes. Tonight it was Isaiah Joe coming off the bench. Are you seeing some pattern in terms of some of those type of players coming in there and your team not adjusting fast enough?
Well, the thing is, and again, it's reading the ball and they attacking the paint, and then where's our positioning to start, and then are we making the right reads on the ball, and are we seeing it early? Are we reacting early? Are we communicating early? And then are we, challenging the shot? And that's what I'm saying. It requires you to make a second, third, fourth effort, and everyone has to be tied together on that. And so that's where we are.
Welcome back. Knicks host Milwaukee Sunday. Note the start time. Pre-game at 2:30, game at 3. Josh Hart, a bright spot tonight, 16 and 13. Here he is after the game with Tyler Murray.
Good old butt kick. Plain and simple.
What about does it a slow start kind of carry over? How tough is it to overcome when the shots aren't falling early?
If the shots aren't falling, that means you got to get stops. So, we didn't get stops. We didn't get out in transition. We didn't play fast. We didn't make shots. We didn't do really anything we were supposed to do. So, at the end of the day, now we got to flush it. It was terrible. And we got an early game on Sunday, so we got to figure it out. It's not getting easier.
Did you say intensity just seemed to get lost today? With what you guys are playing for, you talked about trying to beat this team a week later. Does that surprise you, or?
Surprised me that they felt the intensity wasn't there. I feel like we didn't, like I said before, we didn't do what we were supposed to do. Whether it was energy, attention to detail, focus, whatever it was, we didn't do it. So we got to build from it. We got to learn from it. We got to grow up and, figure it out.
Wally, credit to Hart. 16 and 13, as I mentioned. They're down 25. He's still diving all over the floor.
I give him a lot of credit. I'll tell you, he's undersized at 6'5". He's just attacking the boards with ferocity. There are only two guys that really think rebound every single game on this team. Karl Anthony Towns and Josh Hart. I give them a lot of credit. Josh Hart came out of this game, played very good basketball. This game looked like it meant something, like a playoff atmosphere, but unfortunately the other guys weren't right there by his side.
Jalen Brunson led the Knicks with 27. His post-game comments are coming up. The Knicks in Milwaukee Sunday afternoon. Here are post-game comments now from Jalen Brunson.
Short answer, yes. I feel like we do have the talent to compete, but it's not always talent. We got to play team basketball and just sit together and go through the ups and downs of the season. It's a long season, and we're gonna learn. We're gonna get better, and just gotta stick together. That's really most important.
Obviously, the first game against OKC, it was Aaron Wiggins who came off the bench and got 19. Today it's Isaiah Joe, 31 off the bench. Just what did you see on the defense with him, and just from bench defense in general against other teams?
I mean, he came into the game and made a couple shots early, and then he had a lot of rhythm. He played really well, and it's hard to stop someone when they're in rhythm like that, especially when they're getting open look after open look. And so, give them credit. They kept searching him out, and he kept making plays, and it just shows you how deep of a team they are.
When you said we didn't play Knicks basketball, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot to me, and it means something in this locker room, and we're going to hold that to our heart.
Talk about just progressing, and people tend to always think it's linear, but obviously it seems like talking to you guys, you understand that's not always the case. Do you have to remind yourself that things don't always go in uniform patterns?
Yeah, it's all about just building every single day. Sometimes you can do the right things and fail, and sometimes you can do the wrong things and have success. And so tonight we did the wrong things and failed, so that's the difference with tonight. But there's every single day we just got to keep building, keep chipping away, and just not lose faith, not lose confidence. And tonight sucked. That's plain and simple. But tomorrow we wake up, we watch film, we move on, we get better, and we get ready for Milwaukee.
Well, you always say the great thing about the NBA is that there's a game basically every other day. Exactly. Is this going to be hard to put behind them or not?
No, it shouldn't. That's why the Knicks they have great players on their team. The great players can forget about bad performances, and they don't let these bad performances linger. That's the big thing. As a team, you got to correct some stuff immediately. You got to correct, you got a good team coming here in Milwaukee. You're going to have to play with more intensity. You're going to have to find a way to not let them just get wherever they want on the floor. Today, this Oklahoma City team, they would take two dribbles and blow by whatever defender. It didn't matter who it was out there. They were just shredding the Knicks defensively. And you just have to take that personally as a team and as individuals, not let that happen, because there are some good teams coming into the Garden, and they're smelling blood. I said it. The Knicks are reeling. They had lost 3 in a row. Teams are sensing that the Knicks are a little fragile right now, and unless as a team and as individuals you put a stop to that, teams are going to come in here with more confidence than they should.
The three-point shooting is amazing. And
yeah.
The one thing we've talked about is when the Knicks or other teams are not hitting their three, and again, they went only 4 of 32 tonight, it seems like the rest of their game falls apart.
They still got to 101 points, but they were blown off the floor. It doesn't matter. You can't – listen, the shots didn't fall tonight. It happens. Hopefully you can figure out a way to generate some better looks. They had some open looks that didn't go in, and you got to think they're going to start to fall because this is a good, skilled three-point shooting team that's been one of the tops in the league all year.
All right, we will be back to wrap things up right after this, as Isaiah Hartenstein plays his first game for OKC in MSG. Since leaving the Knicks, played well, led the team with 6 assists. Welcome back, everyone. The Thunder led the Knicks 31-17 after the first quarter. They were up 70-43 at the half, and that was basically that. Knicks and Milwaukee on Sunday, pregame at 2:30, game at 3. You can also stream our coverage on MSG Plus now on the Gotham Sports app. Want more than just a post-game show? Link your eligible TV subscription to stream Knicks games free or subscribe today in the Gotham Sports app. Just go to gothamsports.tv to learn more.